Morning, everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the December 3rd Ottawa County Planning and Policy Committee meeting. First item on our agenda today is public comment. If you'd like to make a comment to the committee, please approach the podium and you'll have 3 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we will have another opportunity for public comment at the end of the meeting. So as we continue to move forward, would someone like to make a motion to approve this meeting's agenda? So move.
Second.
Okay, moved in support. Any comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have our agenda. Next item would be the approval of the minutes from November 8th, Planning and Policy Committee meeting. I'll move.
Support.
Motion and support. Any questions, comments on the minutes? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approving November 8th meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that brings us to our first action item request. The Rosie Mound Coastal Management Grant application from fiscal year 2026. The suggested motion is to recommend an application to Michigan's Coastal Management Program for funding assistance with design and engineering for access improvements at Rosie Mound Natural Area and forward to the Board of Commissioners for approval of the required application resolution. So move.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and Kurt Tahar in the audience to take us through. Good morning.
Good morning. So most of you know that we are getting very close to completing the acquisition of an addition to our existing Rosie Mound Natural Area. It's 127 acres that we've had our eye on for a very long time. And so that Jason was going to be here. I think the closing is in December here yet. But anyway, it's always been our intent to provide public access to that as soon as possible. We are required by some of the funding for the acquisition to do that, but to do it in a good way that people can enjoy it and not mess things up there because they have good places to walk and so forth is what we really want to do. So we've been moving our planning process along. We're in the midst of doing our master plan for the entire parcel, but we believed all along there was going to be at least an initial improvement project that would provide the kind of access that we think is necessary to preserve this site and make it accessible and enjoyable to everyone. So we happen to be in the coastal zone. That's this zone along Lake Michigan and up some of the rivers. And so we are eligible to seek some funding for this. And so we would like to seek this grant to help with the detailed planning and the engineering of this first phase of improvements. So that's the proposal before you today. So we think that contract would probably be about $100,000. This would fund 50% of that, so $50,000.
Are there any questions for Kurt? I did have one. So because of all the work that's been done with, sort of the first phase of Rosie Mound, is there any sort of, I guess, momentum for, phase 2 because of the success of the first project? With regard to seeking
for
the
the
grant?
initial, the park as it is, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, this has garnered a lot of interest from many people. I think there's probably been quite a bit of trespassing on this property because people are interested in it. It wasn't, it's not owned by us and they didn't really, police that too much, but sure there is. And it's all part of, we have some of our own funding going towards this, but our foundation is also raising funds for it because we think it will be something the public really wants to support.
Okay. Thank you. I guess at this point, with no further questions or comments, we can take a roll call vote on this one.
Mr. Moss,
Yes.
Mr. Kleinjens,
Yes.
Mrs. Miedema,
Yes.
Mr. Bergman,
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thanks, Kurt. All right, the next item on our agenda is the Veteran Services Jail Complex alterations item. The suggested motion is to approve and forward to the board the creation of a capital project for Veteran Services alterations at the jail complex.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion and support. And I see Karen and Cameron in the audience with us this morning, so I don't know which one will kind of lead us through the conversation on this, but
So, Mr. Chair, hasn't this been basically approved already?
I don't know that the
Um,
capital piece of it has on the financial setup. I think the
My
overall.
understanding is that we approved the whole package last week or 2 weeks ago,
Okay,
right?
The grant was approved last week.
Yeah, we approved the whole project, didn't we?
You approved the grant. So this actually amends the capital improvement plan, creating the project.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
really kind
Yeah,
of housekeeping.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Amending.
So
the
basically,
capital
we're cleaning
improvement
up.
plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of clean up,
Yeah, okay.
housekeeping,
All right.
creating the project. And
Yeah.
so if there were specifics about the project, I
Yeah.
think that's why Cameron was
Because
here.
we've really approved the project already.
Well,
correct?
last week was really approving the grant.
Yeah,
So it was
okay.
really approving
All
the
right.
funding.
Understand.
So if you were thinking like if that was coming from an outside source, because it was internal, maybe it was feeling like
Yeah.
a one, but like if it was for Rosie Mound, like if that was a grant that was approved, we would then create a project potentially.
Okay.
So kind of similar. We
Okay.
wouldn't necessarily do it in one swoop.
I appreciate the summary. Is there anything additional that we need to know? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Karen. I guess we'll go to a roll call vote on this as well.
Mr. Bergman?
Yes.
Mrs. Medema?
Yes.
Mr. Moss?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinens?
Yes.
Mr. Belknap?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We do not have any other committee reports, so that brings us to the second opportunity for public comment. Again, if anyone would like to make a comment to the committee, please approach the podium. Last call. All right. With no one approaching the podium for a comment, we'll call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.